Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to take a look at how you can quickly set up and sign in to your account using GoGuardian Teacher. Now, if you don't know what GoGuardian Teacher is, it is a classroom management tool that allows you to sync your students' devices' screens to your device to help better manage and monitor student web activity in your classroom. So let's go ahead and jump into this. The first thing I want to do is go ahead and launch Google Chrome. Then I'm going to go to teacher.goguardian.com. When the login screen appears, go ahead and choose Login with Google and sign in with your Revis Gmail account. When the terms of service appear, you can go ahead and read through this yourself. Scroll to the bottom of the window and check the box saying, I accept the terms of service, and then check the box again and say accept. And once you sign in, obviously you'll notice that we have not set up any classrooms yet, but let's go ahead and take a look at this interface before we create a classroom. So by default, it takes me to all of my active classes that I have currently listed, which I haven't set any up yet. I can click in and see any of my archive classes, so any classes that I've archived. In the top left corner, you can see my 3-bar menu. This will open up a window to bring down all of my classrooms. Scenes, which we'll talk about in a different video. I can access student reports from this page, account preferences, and then I also have support for help, some training on how to use GoGuardian Teacher, and I can restart the tour if I want to just take a tour through the entire program again. In the top right-hand corner, you can see I do have an option to ask questions, as well as my account information. If I do have issues with my Google account, or you see that you're running into some issues, you can reconnect your Google account here. Beneath that, you have the option to become an MVP of GoGuardian Teacher. This is a community of teachers inside of a blog where you can share your experiences. I believe they have some challenges in there as well that you can try for your classroom. To the right of that is your ideas tab. So while you're using the program, if you have any ideas, you can share those here. Underneath that, we have our scenes button, which we'll talk about in a different video. And then we have our add classroom button. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a classroom now. Now, unfortunately, with GoGuardian Teacher, nothing will sync over from Schoology or PowerSchool. So if this is a program that you are going to implement, you will have to add your classrooms manually. So I'm going to go ahead and add a classroom name and a subject, a description. I can choose a default scene if I want to. And again, we haven't talked about scenes yet, but we'll go ahead and talk about that in a different video. Classroom tile color. And then I can click Add Classroom. Now, if you're still using Google Classroom, you can import your class setup from Google Classroom. But if you are primarily in Schoology, you cannot add Google Classroom. So go ahead and add Classroom that you've just created manually here. And then next, what I can do is I can decide to schedule a classroom session. So if I have a reoccurring session that I want to create, I can go ahead and choose a start time and an end time for that period and the days that I want that session to run. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to skip scheduled sessions for now. And then finally, this is how your students are going to be able to be added to your classroom. So one of the easiest ways I think you're going to have adding students to your class is by using this enroll code here. So if I go ahead and click on this use code, I can ask my students to just go to this URL here, enroll.goguardian.com, and enter this enrollment code to be added to my class. Now, if you do have a list of your students' email addresses, you can add them here, as well as importing them as a CSV if you've downloaded them through things like Schoology or PowerSchool. But I do feel like this enroll code is probably going to be the easiest because once they enter this enrollment code, they have nothing else to do on their end. They are virtually in. You just have to allow those students into your course. I'm going to go ahead and close this. And now you can see that I'm inside of this period 1 class that I've created. I can again click to add students. I can click into the sessions tab and see all the different sessions that I've started for period 1. And then I have my settings tab. So by default, it takes me to the info tab. So just a brief overview. Again, I can change the classroom name if I choose to do so here. If I want to change the subject, I can choose it from the drop-down menu. I can change the description. Again, I can set a default screen if I chose to do so, and change the color of the classroom tile. Moving to the right, you'll see I have my scheduling tab here. Next to scheduling, we have reporting. This is where you're going to get an email summary for each session that you create. Moving to the left, I have my teachers tab here, and this is where I can add a second teacher to the class. So I'll go ahead and jump back over to my menu on the left-hand side and go to all classrooms. And you can see that my period 1 class is now set up and is ready to add students to the class. So let's go ahead and do that in the next video.